The Masters of the Universe toy line cartoon was a staple of many kids of the 80s childhood. I know it definitely was for me. Today, Mattel released images and some product information about two lines that are coming out here in June, July. One is Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is the animated series that will be on Netflix, and then Masters of the Universe Masterverse toy line that accompanies that line. In today's episode of Delve Live, we'll be discussing the pictures and the information that has come out, and then in Now Playing, we're going to be playing Pac-Man. So sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 45 by the Power-Pellets of Pac-Man. Okay, I just got a comment. There's something wrong with the sound. Jeremy, if you can hear me, tell me what's going on exactly. I'll put it on my headphones. Okay. I hear it scratching. Hold on just a minute. Okay. Is that better? Wait till I get some feedback from people. Okay, cool. Jeremy, you said no audio. Josh is perfect. So I'm going to just start my intro once again. I'm not muted. Josh can hear me, right? I might have been muted when I was on the black screen so I could plug it in, plug it out. Give you guys just a second to hear. Okay. Now you good. Thank you. Good. Be right back. The Masters of the Universe toy line was a staple of many kids in the 80s. I know it definitely was for me. Today, Mattel gave out some press releases that talked about two new interesting events in the Masters of the Universe. One, the animated show Masters of the Universe Revelation, which will be on Netflix, that's coming out. They released some pictures and a synopsis on it. And secondly, to accompany Masters of the Universe Revelation, we have Masters of the Universe Masterverse collection, which will be new set of action figures that are modeled after the animation. So we've got a lot of cool stuff to cover. And in Now Playing, we're going to take a talk and play another 80s classic, Pac-Man. So sit back, relax in this Delve Live episode 45 by the Power-Pellets of Pac-Man. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Delve Live. I'm Tom Morris, and Delve Live is the show that we discuss and we celebrate everything pop culture, from movies to comic books to video games to collections to animation. If it's fun and exciting to talk about, let's talk about it in this episode, and let's talk about it in Delve Live. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and let them know that every week at about 10:05 on Thursdays, there's always a nice pop culture discussion. Let's discuss He-Man and particularly the Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe came out in 1982, 40 years ago, and it combined sorcery, with sci-fi, and it was amazing. You had He-Man the good guy, Skeletor the bad guy, and it just exploded onto the scene. Action figures, the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe animation by Funimation. You had comic books, you had bed sheets, you had play sets, you had everything that a young kid wanted to be. If they wanted to be He-Man, Skeletor, Man at Arms, Tila, Evil Lynn, if you wanted to play Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, there's a lot of cool stuff. Masters of the Universe, they say Mattel about it was that delivers a powerful adventures with aspirational wish fulfillment, with the iconic heritage and memorable mythology, like I said, dating back to 1982. It explores the universal themes of heroism, individuality, and self empowerment, while continuing to inspire generations of kids and adults alike. Many of you might remember the Masters of the Universe relaunch on Cartoon Network in the 2000s, and I think they called that Masters of the Universe 20X series. That was awesome, and that kind of went out before they wrapped up some cool storylines. Since then, you've had Masters of the Universe Classic toy line. You've had collectible figures from Matty Collector. You've had this property that's been going and going. You've also had Masters of the Universe live action movie. You've had Masters of the Universe uh, animated movie. You've also had the spin-off She-Ra, and then you've had a few other events that have come with Masters of the Universe. So what better way to talk about 80s than with Masters of the Universe? And before I get started, I wanted to say that the part two of A Marvelous Time from the Disney Plus one, we'll be doing that episode 1 week before Loki comes out on Disney Plus, because that way I think we're going to get a lot more information on really where the roadmap is going. We've got a general idea with the movies, but we're going to talk about the Disney Plus here in a couple weeks. So like I said, that is bad. Bad audio is back. Well, hopefully you can all just bear with me and just let me know if it's too bad or just too manageable. So a lot of things going on in pop culture when we're talking about Masters of the Universe. Mattel has definitely put in a lot of effort. I wasn't aware too much about the animation. I knew that was coming, but I wasn't too much about the style until just today they released a bunch of pictures. And Master Universe Revelation. They gave us today in the press article. It was a peek of the animated series premiered globally on July 3rd. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to bring up some of the pictures right now, and we're going to look at it and discuss. Mm-hmm. Okay. What is going on? Hold on. Okay. Ooh. I do hear it. Hold on just a second. Switch something. Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. Let me do this. I'm going to troubleshoot it. I'm going to end this live stream, and then I'm going to go live in just a few. So if everyone can just hold on, I'll be on back in just a few minutes. No, actually, it sounds worse. Okay. Now let's see how that goes with this one. Test 1, 2. Yeah, I had the mic and then I switched it. So I got to do something that a lot of the military calls oh geez, primary, alternative. If anyone's in the comments, and I apologize for this. I thought I had it here earlier, but let me know if the audio keeps on going bad. I'm not sure what is going on. Okay, so we're going to talk about Masters of the Universe Revelation. It is an animated series premiering globally on Netflix on July 23rd. It's going to take the all the cool things that was about Masters of the Universe, the 80s, and bring it to modernize. Okay, levels are off. Okay. Man, you would think that I'd have everything dialed down now, but I do not. Okay, how's that, Josh? I'm going to test one, two, test one, two. Okay, cool. Man, there's going to be a lot of editing in this episode. I can tell you that much. I'm going to actually go back to what we were talking about Masters of the Universe Revelation. Masters of the Universe Revelation is going to take everything that we loved about the animated series in 1982 and modernize it 40 years later. We're also going to have magic. We're going to have our magic power sword. We're going to have uh, all the sci-fi and fantasy. Everything's going to be mashed up. With this Masters of the Universe, they're going to have toys, television, comic books, and more. Basically, it's going to be a celebration of everything Masters of the Universe. And first, we're going to start off with Masters of the Universe Revelation. What is really cool about this is you've got a lot of people that are definitely fans of Masters of the Universe that is going to put a lot of tender loving care, if you want to. It's going to be a love letter to the fans who grew up with the project, especially when you have Kevin Smith involved with this. You know it's going to be true to the essence of Masters of the Universe. So, this is the first piece of episodic content for the franchise to be produced in 20 years, and it's going to celebrate for everyone who's waited for its return. Uh, it's going to pick up the adventures of He-Man and his friends in the 80s, and will feel like a story where they pick the character where they picking up the characters left off. In our first episode, a cataclysmic battle between He-Man and Skeletor leaves Eternia fractured and the Guardians of Grayskull scattered throughout the land. Now it's up to Teela to reunite the broken band of heroes and ultimately prevent the end of the universe. The press release also talks about how the fans, how as we've matured through the years, so too has the world of Eternia. Masters of the Universe Revelation features deeper themes, characterizations, and harrowing battles than ever before, designed for the adult audience. But I'm sure that a lot of kids will be enjoying this as well. Fans are going to watch their favorite characters. Let's such as Prince Adam, He-Man, Teela, Evelyn, and even Orko. But they're all going to be very different at the end of the series than they did at the beginning. They're going to all battle out for the fate of Eternia. Alliances will shift, destinies will be met, and secrets will be revealed. They also have an all-star cast of voice actors, which when I was reading this list, it is amazing. First of all, we have Mark Hamill as Skeletor. I That's worth the price of admission for me right there. You have Lena Headey as Evelyn. She was in Game of Thrones. Chris Wood as Prince Adam He-Man, and Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela. We also are going to get the original Filmation cartoon voice of Skeletor, Alan Oppenheimer, who is also the voice of Man-at-Arms, Cringer, and Merman, and he is going to bring his talents to Mossman and Masters of the Universe. There's also quite a big list of other people that are going to be part of this. Some names that I'm going to read to you. Henry Rollins, you might have heard it as Triclops. Tiffany Smith, if you don't know who Tiffany Smith is, I think she is one of the forefront runners of pop culture. You'll see her doing various shows such as Behind Enemy Lines and Supernatural. And also, you see her doing DC live events in Comic Cons. So she's definitely one to, I'm glad that she's up on here. Stephen Root from Office Space is Cringer. You've got Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones, Clash of the Titans at Man at Arms. You have, let's see, Alicia Silverstone as Queen Marlena. You have Susan Eisenberg from Wonder Woman Justice League as a sorceress. And if you know, definitely, if Kevin Smith is involved, he's going to have his friend Jason Mewes from Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back as Stinkor. I think he did that one on purpose. You're going to have Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, as Merman. And then, of course, Harley Quinn Smith, which is Kevin Smith's daughter, as Yelena. Masters of the Universe Revelations will focus on the unresolved storylines of the iconic characters, picking up where they left off decades ago. You can see the animation is keeping true to the style of Masters of the Universe that's being done by Powerhouse Animation. For people that aren't familiar with Powerhouse Animation, they also do a little show on Netflix called Castlevania. If you haven't watched that one, I highly recommend it. They're modernizing the look and the feel of this cartoon while keeping true with tradition. Just think, you're going to hear Mark Hamill right there as Skeletor. Skeletor is going to sound very creepy. Mark Hamill is an excellent actor, is an excellent performer, excellent when he's given good material to work with. There you have Moss Man, a very iconic image of He-Man. Some of the other characters in the series, we go from Orko with the definite, a more mature look. I think the one between Tila is Elena. We have Roboto and Evelyn and Prince Adam. Tila in action. I'm definitely looking forward to the Masters of the Universe Revelation. All right. Hopefully everyone's with me and they can still hear me good. I want to apologize for just the sound. We get everything as best prepared as we can. There's always technical glitches. Now I have time, but I'm going to say thank you all so far for watching. Right now, let's talk about Masters of the Universe, the Masterverse toy line. Mattel unveiled the new Masters of the Universe Masterverse figures today in a press release, and they're going to come out ahead of the upcoming animated series, June 15th. How many of you remember playing with your Masters of the Universe figures and or watching your favorite nephew play with the Masters of the Universe figures or collected them and still have them to this day? Well, this new Masterverse figures is coming out and it's going to be in conjunction with the Masters of the Universe animation. The core set is going to consist of 6 action figures with highly detailed designs, 30 points of articulation for extreme posability, and comes with each character's unique accessories. For example, He-Man has his power sword and shield, you can see right here. And Battle Cat will come with his trademark armor and helmet. There's also going to be, the core assortment is going to be a 7-inch He-Man. Strictly Audio is coming back. Okay, how's that? I'm going to switch out to the built-in microphone. It's not going to sound as good, but let's see if we can get through this. Again, I apologize. Skeletor, Mossman, Evil Lyn, and a couple of others. There's a design for Skeletor. Looks pretty cool. You can see the articulation, 30 points of articulation into the character. Some very nice attention to the sculpting as well. Mossman definitely looks like Mossman. Kind of looks like a combination of the Swamp Thing and Groot. And that's going to be funny. Here we have Evil Lynn without helmet. And Evil Lynn with the helmet. So I wonder if you just take her hair off and put that on. Now this is an interesting one. This is the Masterverse Skelegod. It's a 9-inch action figure which also comes with a pair alternative hands, one weapon, and one flame accessory. I am wondering what figure, how that's going to relate to the actual animation. Then we have the Masterverse Ultimate Battle Cat, a 14-inch long action figure with detachable armor and helmet that, once removed, reveals the character's alter ego, Cringer. You might want to just get that just for Cringer. They'll also be introducing additional characters to the collection later this fall. They said, Mattel had said in the press release that last year they set the stage for the relaunch, the reboot of Masters of the Universe for 2021 by having the nostalgic action figures and the classics line, and also they had the Castle Grayskull playset and various other figures and comic books and stuff that'll be coming out. So there's going to be a lot of retro goodness coming out here in 2021, leading off with Masters of the Universe, which brings us to our pop question of the day. Masters of the Universe has been around for 40 years, featuring a wide assortment of properties such as cartoons, figures, collectibles, and more. What is your favorite Masters of the Universe memory, character, or collection piece? Yes, and please put that in the comments below. And thank you, Josh, for putting that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. The Masters of the Universe Origins toy line that's out right now. And I looked at some of the figures. They're pretty cool. I think the Prince Adam with the sky sled, it looks, I just saw that picture on the Masters of the Universe Facebook page. It'd be really cool, too, to see some of your collection that you have for Masters of the Universe. Now, we talked about nostalgia. We talked about by the power of Grayskull. Well, how about by the power of Pac-Pellets? And the reason I chose this game for the play-along this week is because if you're talking 80s, if you're talking nostalgia, early 80s, Pac-Man was at the forefront of video games, and that was a whole industry into itself. You had the video game, you had a cartoon, you had figures, you had collectibles, you had toy sheets, you had clothing. I just thought if we're talking about Masters of the Universe, what better way to talk some more about being an 80s kid than Pac-Man? So I chose Pac-Man, and this is the game, arcade game series Pac-Man for this week's Now Playing. Now let's see how good the audio goes on for this one while we're doing this. And I'm not even going to pretend that I'm any good at Pac-Man. We'll just kind of pretend that I am. You're not going to be able to hear me as well. I wonder in the lifetime how many people spent their allowance. Oh, that was close. I remember going to the arcade, Naki's Bowling Alley, being able to play Pac-Man and some of these other games. I had a book about the mazes. Yeah. Let's see if I can at least clear this one maze. Ooh, I unlocked an achievement. I won't be breaking any, I won't be breaking any records in Twin Galaxies anytime soon. There are patterns to the ghost. Each ghost is programmed to follow a different pattern. Yes. Pac-Man, a lot of iterations of Pac-Man have been out for many game consoles, even mobile devices. Oh. Game over. Yeah, wasn't very good. Yeah, when you get these PlayStation games, you do get some achievements. Let's see. Let's try it one more time. I got a better idea. Put my arcade stick in. Because if I want the true arcade experience, let's see how well I do. Again, I'm playing with my arcade stick. An arcade stick isn't going to help your, if you don't know how to play, but it feels a lot better playing with this than not having to play with it. Oh. I know to quit while I'm behind. That is Pac-Man. Now let's delve into the chat and see what we got for comments. Yes, unfortunately, the bad sound. Bad sound. Ah, I like that comment, Jeremy. Mark is epic as a voice actor. Some says he might have the force behind him. I definitely agree with that one. He is definitely someone that even his Joker from Batman the Animated Series was awesome. Trying to get this. There we go. You watched the Masters of the Universe movie last week. Oh, I kind of enjoyed that. The dog looked at you when you yelled He-Man. Did you also yell "I have the power" by the power of Grayskull? Because that was an awesome. It was goofy. It wasn't as cool as it could have been, but I'm going to say that it had its definite moments. That it was. I enjoyed it. It's one of those things where sometimes we just kind of get so. What do I want to say? We want everything to be like the source material, so therefore we get mad when there's one little bit of change, and I don't think that's really necessary sometimes. We can just kind of appreciate what they did with it. Um, yep. Audio. The Mossman figure is cool. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of difference with these characters as they evolve. So remember when Beastman was kind of a prototype, not a prototype, he was the main one, and then they had Mossman, and then they had the repaints. I don't think we're going to see many repaints for this line. I could be wrong, but I definitely think that we're going to see a lot more of variations as the line goes on. Worth noting, there's also the retro style Masters of the Universe Origins toy line out right now, which is pretty cool as well. Yes, if I get an opportunity, I'm going to have a little discussion about those Origin toy lines. We'll have maybe a comparison from then, now, and maybe if we have some of the original 1984 figures, that would be kind of cool to have as well. My favorite Masters of the Universe pieces in my collection are the original Battle Bones, complete with this box. That box art. Was that the one that had where you could put all the figures in and you kind of carry around as a carrying case? So I had that too. A tote bag of Evil Lynn's card back. Oh, that's kind of cool. They have some really cool art, and there was a lot of artists that got their start in that I wish. I think Paul Dini, I could be wrong, but there were some that drew. Remember the comic books that you had? The little Masters of the Universe comic books that came with each of them? Waka Waka Waka, Pac-Man, yes, an achievement unlock, and I bet you there's achievement for getting all 4 ghosts. You have the arcade holder for the old iPad to play Pac-Man and more, and somewhere in storage. Well, if you do get it out of storage, take some pictures because it'll be really cool to see that. And I bet you put a lot of time on that. And it's kind of cool that you can take your iPads and we can just kind of go and play around and just kind of have fun with that. There's been talk of another live action Master of the Universe movie for a long time now. I wonder if that's going to happen at some point. Some concept art was surfaced a year ago. Yeah, that's actually going to, I think that's going to happen because in these press releases that I had, and let me give credit to them while we're right here. Masters of the Universe, Mattel Television gives fans a sneak peek to the upcoming Masters of the Universe Revelation animated series premiering globally on Netflix on July 23rd. And that was out on Mattel's corporate site for news by Rob David, executive producer of Masters of the Universe Revelation and vice president, content creative, Mattel Television. It talks about this as the Masters of the Universe is really like the first step from the kind of like a relaunching, rebooting of the series with the animation, the cartoons, you have the comic books, you have the figures, and I think there is going to be a live action movie that they did mention, and that's I think in the roadmap. And then also this other article that I got the information from was Mattel unveils new Masters of the Universe Masterverse toy line ahead of upcoming animated series Masters of the Universe Revelation, June 15th. And that was on Mattel's corporate site as well by PJ Lewis, Vice President, Global Head of Action Figures for Mattel. Jeremy Holder, back in the day, of course, he played a lot of Pac-Man games, the 4-player ones at Dave & Buster's. I played that one. That was phenomenally fun. The Xbox 360 Championship Editions and more. And remember, we did a Pac-Man episode for Smash Brothers. We definitely did. We could have a whole Pac-Man themed episode of how it's been through the years. And I thought about downloading some of those games and playing the Championship Edition. So that might be something to watch. Yes, Battle Bones was the carrying case. I think I might still have that somewhere. And if my Aunt Jean is still watching, I wonder, do you remember me bringing the little figures around and making the sound effects? And that's what all kids do. When we get into playing, we just have fun with our excitement. We get into the sci-fi. We imagine that we have the power, whether we're chomping ghosts, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons style characters. We have so much fun just having the opportunities to explore our creativity. Thank you for watching this episode. I want to say thank you again for tuning in, and I apologize for the audio difficulties. If you haven't already, just leave a comment on some stuff that you want to see covered in future episodes of Delve Live. With that, I want to say thank you again. My name's Tom Morris. We'll see you next episode of Delve Live. Bye, everyone.